Assalamu alaikum. This is Tahseen. I'm here at the East Lansing Hannah Community Center, and we are trying to show you how easy it is for anyone to cast a ballot. We strongly encourage people to vote early, and I have here with me Fardowsa Omar, who's going to show us how to cast the ballot. Hello, Fardowsa. Assalamu alaikum.
How are you? How's everyone?
All right, thank you for joining us here, Fardowsa. This is, as you can see, it's the East Lansing City's satellite clerk office. They've set up a special office to make it easy for everyone to vote. And Fardowsa Omar has been active civic rights person, and she's been doing her civic duties religiously since her high school days. So thank you for your work. You even worked as a poll worker, so thank you very much for it. So here we are at the East Lansing Hannah Community Center. This is the building, and this is off Abbot. And here we are entering the building right now with Fardowsa. So the fine ladies here have already checked us in. They took our temperatures and did the pre-screening so that we can do this little demonstration on voting for you all. They have a lot of safety precautions in place. And here we are at the polling place inside the Hannah Community Center. Hello, Marie.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to show how to go about our early voting. We have with us Fardowsa Omar. She actually has her absentee ballot. She received it in her mail.
Sure.
Yes. So if she did not have one, this is where she would come and make a request. Can you show us what an application form looks like?
Sure, absolutely. So you're right. This would be the first step for a voter. We usually ask a voter if they want to register as well, because you can register to vote here too, and you can register and obtain a ballot all in the same transaction. So this is really convenient, and as you may recall, this is because of the proposal 2018-3. Voters can now register to vote up until the day of the election and including the day of the election. So, but just assuming that she just wants to, there you go.
Yep.
That she just wants to obtain an absentee ballot. First of all, this surface has been sanitized.
Thank you.
You bet. And we would provide her with this form. It's an absentee ballot application. And she wants to fill out sections 1, 2, and 3. The other sections are for folks that want to have their ballots sent somewhere else. So we jokingly say, unless you're going to send it to Florida, you only need to do sections 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, we have this plexiglass guard. All workers are required to wear a mask, as you can see. We also have pens that we're secured with grant money, so the voter will actually take that pen with them.
Nice.
Because of COVID, it's one and done. So she would take the pen and keep the pen. She'd complete this form, and then I would ask her for a photo ID or a driver's license. As you know, if a person does not have ID or picture ID, they can actually sign an affidavit right here. So if you forget your ID, if you don't have one for whatever reason, you can still vote. Very, very important message. But let's assume that she has a student ID, because we're just looking at the picture. We don't care about address or signatures or anything like that. What we would typically do is we would start to pull up her name in the qualified voter file while she's filling out the paperwork. That way we can expedite the process. And then once we pulled up the absentee voter page for her voter record, I'll know what precinct she's in. There are 17 precincts in East Lansing. Yeah, as you remember from working, and we have our ballots back here. And so drop that information into the qualified voter file. We are going to insert the ballot into this, is called the outside envelope. And by the way, this secrecy sleeve is very important. So when the voter votes their ballot, it's very important that they put it back in the secrecy sleeve with the number showing. When absentee ballots are tabulated, there is verification that the number on the ballot matches a label by printing a label and putting it on the envelope. And you can probably see that on your ballot.
All right. Assuming that that you gave her the ballot, now we are going to show how Fardowsa is going to open the ballot and go about filling it up.
What we would tell her after that, and again, secrecy sleeve is, so we'll say once you go to vote your ballot, make sure to put it back in the secrecy sleeve. We'll tell the voter they are more than welcome to vote here, and I think you can pan the room and see that we've got, fine. We've got voting booths. We've got, if people need to sit down, we've got an area for them to vote. We also have a voter assist terminal. Anyone can use it, but it does provide assistance for folks that have certain disabilities. And then when she's done voting, we'll instruct her to sign right here and date. That's all you need to do. The clerk's office can't accept a ballot unless it's signed and dated, but if that is the case, they will call or contact the voter within 48 hours to let them know that they need to come in and remedy that situation.
And how do you contact them?
I'm sorry?
How do you contact them?
So actually the clerk's office would contact the voter. So a lot of the times now we have email, we have phone numbers. Didn't really used to have that stuff before. We would do whatever we can to make sure the voter knows to come in and sign their ballot. Sometimes the signature doesn't match. This is another question that's been coming up a lot. It has to be glaringly obvious that it doesn't match. But again, by law, the clerk's office is required to contact the voter within 48 hours, and I can tell you they're doing a great job. They're not seeing a lot of issues anyways.
Nice.
So
once again, you're talking about the importance of signing on the back
so
of the
again,
envelope.
sign the back. All of this other check boxes you can disregard. Those are for staff. If somebody assists the voter for whatever reason, they do need to sign on the bottom here.
Okay.
But if you're voting here and you're voting on your own, you can just sign and date.
Okay.
You can seal it. We provide glue sticks if you don't want to lick your ballot. And then, assuming that you've already voted.
So I just want to reiterate one point here.
Absolutely.
So Marie just told the importance of signing here, and make sure that the person who is actually casting the ballot is the one signing here. And
Yes.
if you are assisting the person, you can fill in this portion here and you can sign this bottom section. But you do not sign here. The actual voter is the one who signs here. But you're welcome to assist anyone that needs help, and you put in your information here. So go ahead, Marie. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And so once we've done that, just assuming she's voted, we're going to go and we're making...
I'm actually going to make her do it if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely.
So no, if she has her own ballot, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Marie. So we'll be back with you in a minute.
Okay, great.
Okay. So for those, with your permission, I'm going to stand next to her. This is a privacy section otherwise, where only the voter can actually stop by and make their choices and cast the ballot. So yeah, you want to grab a pen and come back. Meanwhile, I'll show what was in the envelope. So this is what is in Fardowsa's envelope. This is what she received in the mail. She received this in the mail, and within that was the ballot, the secrecy sleeve, and the envelope which she will be mailing it to the city clerk's office. So Fardowsa, you can show your ballot. So this is what a typical ballot is going to look like in the city of East Lansing. In this district, this is how the ballot is. There are two sides to it. Depending upon where you live, your ballot may look different. And as you could tell, there's a partisan section here in the ballot. and there's a non-partisan section that starts halfway down on the right side. So in the partisan section, you can either choose a single party that you prefer, or you can make individual choices of whichever candidate you like for all these sections here. So if you choose a particular party, then you don't need to make these individual choices. But if you make a single party choice and you still would like to choose somebody from a different party within these sections, you can still do that. That's known as a split ticket, and you can still do that. But in the nonpartisan section, it's important that you make choices. And where there is a no contest, for example, here if it says vote no more than 2, you don't necessarily have to fill it in because they're guaranteed positions. But where you have to make a choice, for example, here, you have to make 2 choices as it says here. So Fardowsa is going to show us how to go about voting. Obviously, we are not going to have her do the selections on video because even though she thinks it's fine, but we are not going to do that. It may not be according to the law. So assuming that Fardowsa has filled it up, can you show us what you're going to do next?
Well, then you just take it
Uh-huh.
and put it in the secrecy sleeve. And then make sure the numbers are shown at the top.
Okay, this number here needs to be displayed. Okay.
And then you just put it in the return envelope that they give to you.
Okay.
And you close that.
You-
And then sign and date here.
Okay. Once again, as Mary said, this is where you would sign. You would date it here, and this is going to be recycled. This portion is going to be recycled, and this is what you're going to pick up with you, and you're going to show us how to cast the ballot now. Okay. Go ahead, grab it.
By the way, we just had a voter right here.
Okay. So.
I have this sanitizing wipe.
Okay.
All surfaces that are engaged by a voter are cleaned immediately in between each use.
Wow.
So again, we're trying to make this as safe and reassuring as possible.
That's a lot of work.
It's okay.
And I applaud you, Mary, for coming back out of your retirement to serve the society here.
I'm very happy.
Thank
to
you
do
for your
that.
service. Yes.
Happy to do it.
All right, Fardowsa is ready. Assuming that she has actually filled in her ballot, this is where she would come and cast her ballot. So it's a safe drop box. Looks like you just pull it down. Okay. Okay. Don't drop it in yet. All right. Otherwise, this is where you would cast it, and it's that simple, right?
Yep.
So how long do you think it would have taken you?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. And you had the choice of doing this at home if you wanted to. But you wanted to help our community understand how the voting process works. So thank you for coming and showing us how you go about casting your ballot. And she could mail the ballot if she chooses to, but we strongly recommend, now that we are getting closer, if you can, stop by and put it in a drop box, either in this place here or every city clerk's office in the country has a drop box. And I asked Mary earlier if somebody lives in East Lansing, can they drop off their ballot in a drop box in Lansing area? And she said yes.
Well, let me rephrase that. They shouldn't. But if they accidentally do.
Okay.
Yeah, so that, because clerks are so busy right now.
Okay, got it.
For reassurance is that if somebody accidentally puts their ballot wrong.
It's still taken care of.
Drop box, those are checked all the time.
Okay.
Clerks in the region do a fantastic job, and it will be hand delivered. So we have this drop box. We have the one by City Hall, and I believe there's one by the transportation, the Canada Transportation Station. But these are the 2 main ones. And I wanted to say, don't forget to take your sticker. We always do that for voters. And I also wanted to share, I think this is really important information, and I'll send this with you. So once the ballots, by the way, are transported from here to City Hall at 4 p.m. every day, they are logged in the qualified voter file. So Fardowsa's record would show that City Hall has received her ballot. It's then locked in a safe, or vault actually, until Election Day. But any voter can go to michigan.gov/vote or MVIC, Michigan Voter Information Center, and you can determine that your ballot has been received by the clerk. So So this is a statewide database, and every clerk's own qualified voter file database ties into it. So it's
Excellent.
actually a legal requirement that voter be able to track their ballot. So this provides some reassurance.
Excellent.
So I can give that to you to
Thank
take
you.
with you. This is really good information.
Thank you. I appreciate it again. Yeah. So, Marie, also, you can join Marie as we ask a couple more questions. Assuming, let's say, Fardowsa was a responsible citizen, she made sure that she applied for her absentee ballot and she got it well ahead of time. And here she is, well before the poll date, she's casting her ballot. If somebody still wants to request a ballot, they can.
Yes, absolutely. So that's a really important question. So voters who are registered can request a ballot up until November 2nd, the day before the election, at 4 p.m. That's a hard 4 p.m. But yes, and if voters go in on that Monday, they can't leave with their ballot. They have to vote it there. But yes, important to note is that the city clerk's office and this satellite location at the Hannah Community Center on Abbot Road will be open from 8 until 4 on the weekend prior to the election. So we'll be here Monday through Friday for the next few weeks, and then straight through the weekend prior to the election.
Awesome.
We will also have a same-day voter registration. So if you're not registered, or maybe, this happens a lot with students, you thought you were registered and you find out you aren't, you can actually go to the clerk's office, or you can come here on election day, register to vote, get a ballot, and vote it. So again, thanks to 2018-3, we are able to accommodate voters in a really affirmative way.
And you can register to vote online until this coming Monday.
Yes, yes, another one too. So yes, voters can register online through through Monday. After that point, so between Tuesday and election day, voters have to go to their local clerk. They can't go to the Secretary of State. They can't go online. They have to come see us here at the satellite location, which is what we're hoping to get busier next week. Or they can go to the city clerk's office and do the same thing, but they have to come to one of us
Okay.
in order to register.
So if you have a student at home who just turned 18, they can just stop by here and they can register and cast the ballot right away.
Yes, and again, I do want to emphasize, even if you don't have identification and you have proof of residency, we can still register you to vote. If you don't drive yet and you have a high school ID with a picture on it, or a college ID, or an out-of-state ID, lots of college students have that, then you can still register to vote. We're just looking at the picture.
Okay, thank you. So they've done a lot of things to make it very easy for us to vote. Vote early. Let's not wait until the last day. Lines are expected to be huge. Right now it's empty. As you could see, it makes it very easy to stop by in about 5 minutes. Fardowsa finished her voting work. So stop by anytime. And it's a very nice facility here, very clean. A lot of hygiene has been taken care of.
And I just want to add, a lot of what we're spending our time doing, this is our observation, we're answering a lot of questions and providing assurances that yes, your signatures are going to count. Or, if for some reason you forgot to put the privacy sleeve in the envelope, your ballot's not going to be tossed. So we're hearing there's a lot of noise out there.
Yeah.
That's distracting, but we know what we're doing. East Lansing has a great clerk, and we've got a good group. So
And you can have full faith in the process here. Early voting, all your mail-in ballots are going to be counted contrary to what some politicians are making noise about. So it's safe. We strongly encourage you to stop by and vote early. Anything else you can think of, Fardowsa, that you would like to add? You want to encourage everyone in our community to vote? Just like you did, I would take it, right?
Be sure to not wait until the last minute, and just remember to vote.
Right. Amazing work by you since your school days. You've been working as a poll worker, volunteering in our community. Thank you for what you do. And you as well, Marie. Thank you for your time and allowing us to come here and educate our community on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this was in East Lansing. We'll make it a point to share a video from a location in Lansing as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Islamic Center, and we'll be happy to assist you. If anybody needs assistance with a ride, we'll be happy to offer that. We can't tell you whom to vote, but we can do everything until that point to make it easy for you to cast your ballot. Again, thank you for watching, and we look forward to your participation.